everyone, it's Coach Fred, and today we're going to be talking about special right triangles. So if you were in class today, you learned in a Desmos activity about the relationships between the legs and hypotenuse in a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And those refer to the angles. In a right triangle that has a 30-degree angle and a 60-degree angle, we call it a special right triangle. Now I want to make sure that we're looking at it, we always want to carefully look where the 30 and the 60 are because they do matter. So across from the 30, we're always going to call it the short leg. And that's like the reference angle. That's the angle we always want to find. Opposite the 60 is the long leg. Now we call them legs because the sides of a right triangle are called the legs because we all know that that long side, the side opposite the right angle, is called the hypotenuse. Okay, so we learned that in this right triangle that if the short leg was, say, x, then the hypotenuse was double that, and we could write that as 2x. And the side opposite 60, or the long leg, we would take that short leg of x and we'd multiply it by root 3. And we looked at some ways where that could actually get a little tricky, so we want to be very careful. All right, so here's an example. This would be like a level 1 question. If the short leg is 3, find the long leg and the hypotenuse using the pattern. Okay, so I'm going to carefully draw out my triangle, and I'll use this pattern here to the left. So I'll put the 60 here and the 30 here, but remember, I don't have to. I could draw it like this, where I put the 30 here and the 60 here. So just be really careful with how you draw it. So the short leg is always across from the 30-degree angle, so I'm going to put it here. In this case, it would be here. So the hypotenuse would be 2 times that x, so 6. And then the side opposite 60, we'd take that short leg of x and we multiply it by root 3, so in this case, 3 root 3. So now I did it both ways so you could see that really depends on where that 30-degree angle is. All right, a little bit harder. I give you the hypotenuse. I tell you it's 20. I want to find the short leg and the long leg. Okay, so remember, I call this one x. I always want to work my way back to the short leg. So if I have the hypotenuse of 20, then the short leg would have to be 10. And therefore, the side opposite 60, or the long leg, would have to be 10 root 3. Now, it's not always going to have a root 3 in it. So we got to be really careful with that. All right, still level 1, I give you the long leg. I told you the long leg is 4 root 3. And so I want to work my way back to the short leg first. So the short leg would be that x, so it would be 4. And then the hypotenuse would be 2x, so it would be 8. Okay, harder, level 2. I tell you the short leg is 2 root 3. Now, that's tricky because it's got a root 3 in it. But that's my x, so 2 root 3 is x. So I want to find the other missing sides of the triangle. Well, the hypotenuse is always double that, so it would be, the hypotenuse would be 2 times 2 root 3. Now remember, these are both rational numbers, so we would multiply them, so that would be 4 root 3. All right, now this is where it gets tricky. The long leg, we take the short leg of x and we multiply it by root 3. So now I have to take 2 root 3 and multiply it by root 3, giving me 2 times 3, which is 6. Now I know some of you are saying, Coach Fred, wait a second, root 3 times root 3 is root 9. Well, remember, we talked about this. Root 3 times root 3 is root 9, which gives me 3. So when I multiply a radical by itself, I'm always going to be left with the number under the radical. So then this side would be 6. So do you see how that might be tricky? Because now the side opposite 60 doesn't actually have a root 3 that I can see. So you have to be very, very careful. All right, here's another level 2. I tell you the long leg is 8. Okay, so now I have to work backwards. So now I tell you this is 8, and I want to work back to the short leg. So in these cases, this is where I get a little, I think of it like an equation, and I let 8 equal x root 3. Because when I work my way back, if I go from the short leg to the long leg, I multiply by root 3 To work my way back, I have to divide by root 3. So I'm going to divide by root 3. Okay? All right, now it's game time because now I have a problem. I have a root 3 in the denominator of the fraction, so I have to rationalize the denominator. So I multiply both sides, the top and the bottom, by root 3 over 3, and that will give me 8 root 3 over 3. Okay, so my short leg is 8 root 3 over 3. Now, to double that or multiply it by 2, that gives me 16 root 3 over 3. Okay, guys, so I know that this is challenging when the numbers aren't so clean and pretty. Let's try another one. The long leg is 27. Okay, so I know this is 27. So 27 and x root 3 are the same thing. So this is where I can set them equal to each other. So I just take the corresponding side from the pattern and I set them equal, reminding me then to divide by root 3. All right, so I have 27 divided by root 3. I have a radical in the denominator, and the top is rational, so I can't divide them. So I have to rationalize the denominator, multiplying by root 3 over root 3. That gives me 27 root 3 over 3. Whoa! Now I gotta simplify. So that gives me 9 root 3. So my short leg, or my x, is 9 root 3. And so my hypotenuse is double that, so it would be 18 root 3. All right, I highly suggest you try this one by yourself. I highly suggest you try these two by yourself. So I give you the hypotenuse of 10, and I give you the hypotenuse of 4 root 3, and I want you to work your way back to getting the other sides. All right, try them, press pause, and come back. All right, so I see the hypotenuse is 10, so I know my short leg is half of that, and it's across from 30, so that's 5, and then across from 60 would be 5 root 3. Okay, I give you the hypotenuse on this side, so I got to work my way back to the short leg, so that would be half of that, so that would be 2 root 3. And then the side opposite 60, I take 2 root 3, and I multiply it by root 3, getting 2 times 3, which is 6. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Tomorrow we're going to really be practicing this because it can get tricky. And I hope you had a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.